Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it's Thursday. It's February 13th. This will be our chart lesson for today, and this will wrap it up for the week. No chart lessons on Fridays, and Monday is President's Day, and the market closes at I think closes at noon. Doesn't open back up till 5. So it may be closed the whole day. I'm not sure, but a lot of times it'll trade till noon. But it's a holiday, so we won't be trading that day. So we get another 3-day weekend here. Um, so just be aware of that. No trading on Monday. So there won't be a mid-morning chart lesson or a YouTube chart lesson because there won't be any trading that day. So also, I apologize. It's so late tonight. I'm just now doing this chart lesson. It is 9 p.m. This has been the worst week for me. I'll never leave for 3 weeks again. I promise you. Not until I'm retired. This is the craziest thing ever. Nothing has gone right since I got back. I got a notice while I was gone that there was an update for NinjaTrader. So what I do the new update, and it changes everything. You have to log on to the website, and it downloads from there, and it works totally different from the desktop, the latest update. So I guess it brings it to your laptop, but you have to log in through NinjaTrader, and none of that stuff. I updated it. It destroyed everything I had. I lost all my settings. I lost everything. Had to completely uninstall it and reinstall it. So when you see that update, be very wary of it. I'd wait a little bit because it appears that there were a lot of people having trouble with it when I started searching. So if it's a new install, you're probably fine. But if you're updating and you hadn't updated yet, I think I'd wait a little bit because you don't want to go through what I went. I mean, literally, I tried to do this chart lesson at 4:30, and it took me till now to get my charts working again because I had to. It was a total disaster. I'm gonna leave it at that, and I'm gonna get to the chart lesson. And unfortunately, I'm gonna move through this one pretty quick. It looks like we're continuing to work sideways here. We still have this larger sideways stuff here as well. I think this is gonna play more like that. Maybe even more like this. I'm going to play it like that. I think we had a breakout here. And we're back in this range. And I talked about yesterday, or it might have been this morning on the mid-morning chart, that we were making higher lows here each time. And so there was a good chance. This is what you had to be careful of, that we might break out of that. And sure enough, we broke out, had a big bullish day, and we're continuing to go higher yet. So my guess is we're going to retest these highs up here. We may pull back first, but we're probably going to retest this highs because we're in the overnight and you can't trust this yet. This could change considerably between now and trading time tomorrow. So, but yeah, we finally broke out of this tight range, and there were some clues because we're making these higher swing lows and closing higher and so forth here each day. And sure enough, we did break out today. I didn't really know if we'd break out today, but I had a good feeling that this was going to be the key, and so we'll probably head higher now. We may pull back first. We'll see. We could have a failed breakout and may turn back in and get back in the range, but it will at least probably come back and retest this breakout area at some point. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. But let's flip over to the 2,000 tick chart. And again, I'm going to go through those trades really quickly just so I can get them up tonight and get that chart up for you because I've been gone so long. But man, this has been a crazy week for me, and I don't want to have to go through this again. It's too frustrating. I mean, literally everything that could go wrong, updating something, uh, went wrong this week. So, um, and when you're gone for 3 weeks, you get lots of updates on stuff. But be very wary of updating that to that newest in NinjaTrader if you hadn't done it yet. If you did update to it, I hope it went smoother for you than it did for me. But it was a disaster. So, and I still, I mean, literally, I had to redo this 2,000 tick chart 3 times because it would. One time I had to close it to reopen for some reason, and it didn't reload my charts. It reloaded the chart, but it didn't have my data, my my channels and lines and trades on there. So, and as I flip over there, you'll see there's a lot of stuff on there today. But let's go ahead and flip over. And you can see there's quite a bit of stuff on my chart here. Lots of stuff. And I had to redo this and all the trades 3 times before it finally started acting right. And I don't know what happened. But it was a disaster. And so I don't recommend updating these charts to that newest one if you haven't already done it until I would just wait a while. It's probably going to be fine, but I'd probably wait a while. And I already see a trade that I missed in here. I see 2 trades that I missed that I didn't put back on here. There's a downtrend here. And then you've got a long right there. Long right there. And this one's actually blue as well. And if I see any more that I missed along the way, I'll add them back. But this has been a frustrating day. And there's another one right there. So anyway, let's zoom in here. We had the news at 7:30 this morning. It's not on here. It's already fallen off. And this is tomorrow. It's so late. We're already into the next trading day. So for that reason, it's on there. But there was a news item here. I can't even remember what it was. But you had to be flat on it, and you can see the volatility, and then we kind of straightened, settled down, and started working sideways. And there's a range trade right here. There's plenty of room still to scalp out. Quick, easy scalp. It's about all you get out of it. Then we break out, and most breakouts fail. So you have that trade, and then, but generally you want to wait on the lower high, and the lower high came here. And by that time, I still like this trade. And it's close to being blue, but it's starting to look a little stacked and sideways. And this is kind of holding here. But if it breaks below that, we're probably going to get back at least into the range again. So I like that short because you've got more than 2 measured legs up here at this point. And you can see that. So I like going short there. But it's still looking a little sideways, a little congested. The key, and you don't have a whole lot of room back to the EMA here. Although EMA doesn't really matter when you're playing the range rules, and we're still playing range rules here because we've already had 2 measured legs up. So I like that trade. If this would have had a good signal bar, I'd tell you to go short here right off the range again. But the signal bar is just not good enough. And of course, you drop down here and you bounce and you get an overshoot here, in my opinion. This is your channel and you get an overshoot and then you get a higher low. I like just try to ride that back to the EMA, and it ends up going a good bit higher. And then you get a break of that channel. It tries to go lower and fails. This is tempting to go long here, but I think you got to sit tight on that. It does end up going higher, but it's just not a good setup. Just stay away from that. And no chance to really get long or short here. And then you get 2 legs back, and this confirms the trend line. This is a spike in channel, and this confirms that trend line. Go long, or you already got a break in new low on this khaki channel. You're bouncing off the main key entry point here. Got a nice signal bar way away from the EMA. Take that trade. You get a higher low here, but no signal bar. You might have traded this as a continuation pattern on a failed second entry, but you got to use that inside bar. I'm just not crazy about it. If you entered that, if you play that, you enter 1 tick above that bar, but your stop still has to go way down here, and that's a little risky. I mean, that's 4 points there. So I think there's better trades than that. Especially, there's a lot better. It turns out there's a lot better trades today. But we run up, we get a close outside new high, and then we're working sideways. You get a little failed breakout here. Generally, you want to wait on the higher low. We don't get one here, but you might take these. If it's got a good signal bar, which if that would have had a really strong signal bar, I'd say I'd be a little bit more apt to say take that, but I still think it's risky. By the counts, it's a second entry as well. Does that really look like a leg down? Not as much as that does. And if you draw your micro channel here, you do get a close outside and a new low, but it's all in one bar. So there's reasons to consider that. Maybe you take that again. It's better to wait on the higher low, and we don't get one. It just takes off. Turns down off the highs up here. I wouldn't go short there. I'd sit tight and wait. I'd look for, if I had a good lower high here, I would. You get a lower high, but it's way down here and it looks congested and it's almost to the EMA. So, and then your khaki channel is still in play. So just forget that. But then you get a break here, and that's a new high because you got a double top right there. I'd consider that a new high. This looks like a break and two legs to a new low, and so you could count that as a second entry. There is the break with the khaki channel and the two legs too low, so it's looking for a reversal, and it's happening right at the midline. You're better off to wait on a higher low here, but you might take that. I like that trade. Again, the safer play is to wait and see if you get a higher low for more proof that you're going higher. And that comes right here. And that signal bar is just not good enough, in my opinion. That looks too congested. You can see that little congestion area right there. That's risky. So I'd sit tight on that one. You don't get a good enough signal bar here. But then you get a new low and you get a first entry, second entry, and you pretty much confirm that trend line. And this breaks higher first and fails and turns down. That's going to trap people. That's a good enough solid bar next to this engulfing bar that you could go short there on the engulfing bar. Most of you should leave that alone. Like I always talk about, that's a more advanced feature. But nobody's going to listen to me, I know, and you're going to probably take one tomorrow. But most of you should stay away from that. You should usually wait for the bar to close and get proof. By the time it closes, it's a really large bar, 17 ticks. So I don't know if I would take it down here, but if you understand what's going on the trap, there's a failed second entry, there's a second entry short. I'm sorry, let me back up. There's a failed second entry long, and then there's a second entry short and that failed second entry long creates a trap to the high side, and you can see how it rockets down real fast. But anyway, nice move down, close outside new low, and a chance to get long there. I would count this as a second entry. This looks like this is sideways stuff, so you're moving down first entry, second entry, and then you get a higher low. So I like enter on either one of them. This one is close to having too much stem, but I still think if it break above that, you're going to be good on that higher low. And then it comes back to the trend line, and then once again, first entry and another second entry right off the key entry for the main trend line. Even though this is still in play coming down, this has been the main play. So I'm going to take that trade. And it does end up holding, but you can see there's almost 2 points there. I think there is actually 2 points if I measure it right. Well, still didn't measure right. I'm sorry, I'm tired, people. I've had a rough week. I've put in 10 or 12-hour days every day this week. So yeah, it's not quite 2 points, but there's plenty to get out there. I liked it. Honestly, I thought we'd probably break higher and maybe turn down later, but it turns down and you get a break. And so now you got a break of the main channel. But let this one play out first. I mean, there's a chance you could go ahead and go up and make a new high and then come back down. But if it turns back down, let this one play out and then look for a possible new high. But you can see you had this channel working up. You got a break. Then you got a first entry and then a second entry. And basically what you're playing here is the range. It kind of goes into a side where you got support here. You got a 1, 2, 3 triple test. And you got at least a second entry long there. You didn't enter on the second entry, but it's already triggered. and you've got a first entry, second entry short that fails. So I like going long there. And you're just looking to retest this high, and if it goes back, starts moving higher, you may retest the original high up here on the main channel because you still don't have a retest of that yet. Um, and it ends up just kind of getting stuck in this range. You would have exited by now, and there's no way to get in that. And then you get a failed breakout, and now you've got two measured legs up and a turn down. You might trade that as a breakout. Again, you're better off to wait on the lower high, and you don't get one. You go back into another range here, breakout. Maybe you trade that as a failure. Again, you're better off to wait on the lower high, but you don't get one. The bottom just falls out again. And now you got two measured legs down. And it turns again. Now there is a second entry long here, and if you draw this channel, I believe you get a break and a new low on that one, all on one bar. Usually I don't draw these retest channels, but you might want to draw it in this case since you got your two measured legs down. So a break above that bar is a second entry long, but it's in the inside bar. And it looks a little up and down there. So I just sit tight, and then you pull back here, and that's a second entry long. Actually, I take that back. There's a first entry, second entry. I was thinking this just turned straight up. So it's not a second entry long, but I like that one just because it's back. I didn't draw it all the way across here. It's all the way back to the range, and it's playing. You can see twice it's tested that and held, and so I like just playing the range rule back up there. And you can see it turn back down, but it ends up breaking higher and going higher. And if you notice here, it comes back and tests the upper side again before it goes higher there. But that's just too congested. I'd stay away from that. And it runs up. And notice you got a new low, and you get a first entry, second entry. So you got the break of this green channel, two legs up, and a second entry. It's also a failed breakout because by this time you've got another range going on there. So I treated that like another breakout of this. And again, you're better off to wait on the lower high, but you still may take it because a lot of time, most breakouts are going to fail. So it really depends on how it all plays out. But since you had a break and two legs up, I think that gives that a little more credence to take that trade. So if you took it, again, it's a little aggressive. You'd rather wait on the lower high, but you don't always get one. I've shown you three good breakouts that you didn't get one. And you just have to weigh your options there. If you want to take that risk. Is it a sure thing? No, but it's got a high probability of failing and giving you a scalp back, but it's not a sure thing. And here you're just playing the ranges back in the range. You still got room to scalp out, and you can see the range is in play. And then you get a failed break lower, but no setup there. It breaks out the top again, no setup there. It comes back. It's back inside the range again, gets a breakout and takes off. But there's no setups in there. There's nothing I would want to trade. So you got to just kind of sit tight and wait. And this turns out to be a spike in channel. And so this is a really strong trend. You got a second entry here. Notice the new high, first entry, second entry. It fails lower, breaks lower and fails and turns up. I don't think I'd go long at the high up here on this because you don't have much room left. But I'd definitely trade that on the engulfing bar, and you may still go long there if it would have broke higher, but it doesn't. It doesn't break higher to this bar. So if you don't enter on the engulfing bar, just skip that one. But now we talk about this a lot. This is a real strong trend, a spike in channel, and you've got all these little bars that just keeps going higher and higher and higher, and the pullbacks are very small. You can almost take any signal bar that comes back to the key entry point. I'm going to mark all these green because this is very advanced, but you can just about take any one of these. And this one is probably more like this. So you do get a closeout side and then new low all on that one bar. And even if you didn't, you probably could still go long on a good signal bar there. And that takes you into 230. So there it is. I know I rushed through that. I tried to do my best. It's 9:30 now, so I'm gonna go ahead and upload this. Most of y'all are probably already in bed and won't see this till tomorrow or Friday night or something, or maybe over the weekend. Hopefully, I hope people come back to view it because I spent a lot of time to get it up here. But if people miss it because it wasn't there, I understand. People probably wondering what happened to me tonight after not being around for 3 weeks. But I just had a hard time getting back on track, and I've had more troubles than it's just amazing how many troubles I've had. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up. I won't see you again on YouTube till Tuesday. There'll be a mid-morning chart tomorrow, normal, and I'll leave at noon. But I won't be in on Monday. No trading on Monday due to the President's Day, and then we'll be back in the saddle Tuesday. So I'll see you Tuesday. Hope you had a great week. Have a great extended weekend. Enjoy the holiday and the extra day. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.